रे। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवर धारे। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवर धारे। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवर धारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे। जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम। जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह। जय सुदर्शना। जय निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो। जय निताय गौरांगो। जय वराहदेव वराहदेव वराहदेव। जय वराहदेव। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय। श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय। श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय। श्री श्री वराह देव की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, 10th chapter, text number. मय सुकरस्य जनस्तपस्सत्यनिवासिनस्ते त्रिभिः पवित्रैर्मुनयो गृह्णन् स्म। गरितं स्वखेद Swakheda. Nivasinaste Tribhiv pavitraye munayo grinansma Shamyate ghar gharitam swakheda Shayishnu maya mayasukarasya Janastapasatya nivasinaste Tribhi pavitraye munayo grinansma Nishamya. Just after hearing Te, those, ghar gharitam, the tumultuous sound, swakheda, personal lamentation, kshayishnu, destroying, maya, maya, all merciful, sukarasya, of Lord Boar, janaha, the Janaloka planet, tapaha, the Tapoloka planet, Satya, the Satyaloka planet, Nivasinaha, residents, Te, all of them, Tribhihi, from the three Vedas, Pavitraihi, by the all auspicious mantras, Munayaha, great thinkers and sages, Agrinansma, chanted. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. When the great sages and thinkers who are residents of Janaloka, Tapoloka and Satyaloka heard the tumultuous voice of Lord Boar, which was the all-auspicious sound of the all-merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious chants from the three Vedas. Please repeat. When the great sages and thinkers who are residents of Janaloka, Tapoloka, and Satyaloka heard the tumultuous voice of Lord Boar, which was the all-auspicious sound of the all-merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious chants from the three Vedas. Purport. The word Maya is very significant in this verse. Maya means mercy, specific knowledge, and also illusion. Therefore, Lord Boar is everything. He is merciful, He is all knowledge, and He is illusion also. The sound which He vibrated as the boar incarnation was answered by the Vedic hymns of the great sages in the planets Janloka, Tapoloka, and Satyaloka. The highest intellectual and pious living entities live in those planets, and when they heard the extraordinary voice of the boar, they could understand that the specific sound was vibrated by the Lord and no one else. Therefore, they replied by praying to the Lord with Vedic hymns. The earth planet was submerged in the mire, but on hearing the sound of the Lord, the inhabitants of the higher planets were all jubilant because they knew that the Lord was there to deliver the earth. Therefore, Brahma and all the sages, such as Bhrigu, Brahma's other sons, and learned Brahmanas, were enlivened. And they concertedly joined in praising the Lord with the transcendental vibrations of the Vedic hymns. The most important is the Brihan Naradiya Purana verse, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This description is about Varaha avatar. Today is Varaha Dwadashi, the appearance day of Lord. Just like Janmashtami is the appearance day of Lord Krishna assumes various incarnations. Keshav Dhrita, Nar Hari Rupa, Lord Narsimha avatar. Keshav Dhrita, Meena Sharira, Matsya avatar, the fish incarnation. And Keshav Dhrita, Shukara Rupa, the boar incarnation, which happened today, many years ago. When did it happen? It happened twice. Once at the time of Swayambhuva Manu, and another incarnation at the time of Chakshusha Manu. Who are the Manus? Manus are the forefathers of mankind. From Manu we have come, not from monkeys or apes. So this is the understanding. So there are different understandings. There are understandings that we have come from energy, or we have come from apes. We can come from anywhere, but not from God. So yesterday we were discussing about the process of meditation, and people are very fond of doing meditation, and various people in the room, they were aware of some kind of meditations. So I asked, on what you meditate? So somebody told, I meditate on some point or some flame or breath or XYZ, some sun, moon, chakras. So we meditate on anything except God. Just don't meditate on God. This is what Prabhupada says. When some people tell that they criticize temple. So why go to temple? God is everywhere. So Prabhupada tells, for them God is everywhere, but not in the temple. Don't go to temple. God is not there. God is everywhere. So if God is everywhere, then why not in the temple? So this is a symptom of envy of God. So we living entities want to become God. That is our endeavor here. And thus we don't like to understand about the supremacy or the existence of God. We are not able to understand. Otherwise, meditation means meditation on the supreme form that is told throughout the Vedas. Similarly, they will not accept the common sense thing. Prabhupada explains, you have come from your father. Your father has a form? Yes. And how he has come? He has come from his father. His father, our grandfather, he has a form? Yes, he has or had a form. Then his father, he also had a form. So it is common sense. Every person has fathers has a form. So where is formlessness? Everyone's father has a form. So the Supreme Lord also has got a form. And of course, this form is transcendental. This is not material in nature. So if you understand from this, our father has got a form. And thus the Vedic understanding, if we understand, our researches are limited. We do not know clearly what is what. We keep on changing our understanding. But the Vedas explain us very clearly the historical records which have been passed on in the generations, that our original forefather was Manu. That is why we are called Manav, the descendants of Manu. And then from here the word man has come. Man or human or anything, it has come from Manu. So Manav. So who are these Manus? The Manus are the supreme rulers of mankind. And in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. Just like there are different lifespans. In one life of a human being, there could be 9 or 10 dogs. Dogs live for 10 years. We live for 100 years. So there could be 8 to 10 dogs in one lifespan of one human being, 100 years. Similarly, in one lifespan of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. Sorry, in one day, not lifespan, one day of Brahma. Brahma lives for a very long time. One day of Brahma, there are, just like in one day of ours, there are many insects. They take birth and they die. Many species are there. Some insects only a lifespan of one night. Prabhupada calls it Diwali Poka. You see it, it comes out at night. By the morning, it is dead. Meanwhile, he has produced his children and he has passed away. He has had his family life, everything. But for that small insect, the experience is of 100 hours. So time is relative. He will not think I have a short lifespan. He will think I have had a long life. So in this way, the lifespans are different. Our lifespan is very small. Brahma's lifespan is huge. So in one day of Brahma, which is equal to 1000 Mahayugas, one yoga is of 43 lakhs 20,000 years. 43 lakhs 20,000 years is one Divya Yoga. Satya Yoga, Treta Yoga, Dwapar Yoga, Kali Yoga combined together. And into 1000, 43 lakh 20,000 into 1000 is the one day of Brahma. Sahasra Yug Paryantam, it is told in Bhagavad Gita. So in Bhagavad Gita, very clearly it is mentioned Sahasra. Sahasra means 1000. Yug Paryantam Ahar Yad Brahmano Viduhu. Aha means day. Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. And of equal span is Brahma's night also. So Brahma's day is equal to 1000 yugas. And similarly, for another 1000 yugas is Brahma's night. So just imagine how long lifespan, how much long he lives. So in this one day of Brahma, which comprises of 1000 Mahayugas, there come and go 14 Manus. So one Manu will live for how many yugas? 1000 divided by 14. That is how much? 72. Around 72, 71, 72. So 72 yugas, Mahayugas, is the lifespan of Manu. So the sixth Manu is Chakshusha Manu. And the first Manu at the beginning of the creation of universe is called Swayambhuva Manu. So Swayambhuva Manu, he is son of Lord Brahma. And he appeared along with his wife. Her name is Shatarupa. So when both of them appeared, he bowed down before Lord Brahma, as a son should do before the father. And he told that, please let me know, how can I serve you? You have produced us for what reason? Please guide me according to your intelligence. So Brahma became very much pleased. And he told, I'm very pleased with you. You have surrendered completely unto me. So if you follow my instructions, in this life you will get fame. And in next life, you will be successful. You will get salvation. And then Prabhupada explains very nicely in the purport. This is called Brahma Sampradaya. Disciplic succession. Lord Brahma gave knowledge to his son Manu or Narad Muni. And then they gave knowledge to their children. This is called disciplic succession. So anybody who follows the order of the disciplic succession gets fame in this life and salvation in the next. So anyway, he was very much pleased with Manu. And he told, you protect the citizens very nicely. If you protect the citizens, the Supreme Lord will be very much pleased with you. And pleasing the Supreme Lord is the only aim of our life. It is very, very simple to understand. We want to create family because we want to enjoy. Our desire is our family members should cooperate with us. So why this desire is there in us? Because this desire is there in the Supreme Lord. So it is very simple. Why do we create anything in this world for our enjoyment? Similarly, the whole world also has been created for God's enjoyment. So we should participate in his enjoyment. Does the son become angry with the father? For your enjoyment, you have produced me. Now I have to go to school and work very hard. Why you have done so? You are so selfish. No, we don't say. We are thankful. Yes, a son who is nonsense, he will complain. Who is getting beaten here and there by the police, not getting a good job. So that is because of his reason. He has not studied properly. He does not follow the laws. So he suffers. So he may accuse the father. Why you have produced me? Because of you, I am suffering. But a son who is gentle, who is obedient to father as well as the laws, then he enjoys in this world and he has good facilities. So he's very thankful to the father. He is grateful. Because of you, I got this body, I got this birth. So thus, the obedient children, they are very grateful to God and they participate in the enjoyment of God, just like an obedient son. So it is very, very simple to understand. There is no purpose of our existence but to give pleasure to Lord. It is very simple. And when we are able to give pleasure to Lord, then where is the question of trouble in our life? So that is why human life is very simple. We have to find out who is God and then try to please Him. Very simple. There is no other purpose of existence. God has created everything for His pleasure. So we should try to understand first who is God and then try to please Him. And if God is pleased, then where is difficulty? So then He told you protect the people. Then if you give protection properly as a king should do, the Supreme Lord Janardhan will be very much pleased with you. And then you offer yajna, sacrifices. The only purpose of existence is sacrifice. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. We should work so that we can sacrifice the results for the Supreme Lord. The small child, he can eat the whole cake, but he sacrifices a piece for father. Then father becomes very happy. Oh, the child may be greedy. Oh, let me eat everything. I will not give anything to him. He can do that. But if he sacrifices little bit for the father, then father becomes very pleased. Oh, he is offering me. And suppose the child works very hard, cooks a cake himself and offers everything to father, father will be very much pleased. Oh, it is so nice. The child is trying to satisfy me. So that is why, and we have to understand if the supreme powerful person is satisfied with us, then where is difficulty? Who can disturb us? So that is why the human life is meant for yajna. Yajna means sacrificing for the Supreme Lord. There is no other purpose. So one who can understand the simple common sense understanding, he is called Brahmana, means he is broad-minded. One who cannot understand, he is called a Kripana, miser. He does not wish to give anything to father. Everything I'll keep, I'll enjoy. But he does not understand everything is in control of the Father, Supreme Lord. So if Supreme Father is pleased, you will be unlimitedly happy. And directly if you want to enjoy, then it is not possible. We cannot do that. So thus he told you do yajna, and by your performance of yajna, the Supreme Lord will be satisfied. But then Manu asks that, my dear father, that is all right, I will protect the citizens, but where will I sustain myself and all other people? Our place of sustenance is there deep in the ocean. So he was asking about the planet Earth. So the citizens will live on this planet, but this planet, all the planets, there are 14 planetary systems in the universe. The top are mentioned here. Janastapa Satya Nivasinaste. So when there is night time of Brahma, the bottom 10 planetary systems, they go and they settle down. Where do they settle? At the bottom of the Garbhodaka ocean. The universe is called Brahmanda. Brahma means supreme or big. Anda means egg. The universe is in the shape of a golden egg. It appears golden from outside. If at all somebody can go outside the universe, he can see it is golden in color. So this is described in the Vedas. But we cannot go outside. Why? Because this universe is having many, many layers to cross over. First of all, universe is so big. And 10 times the size of the universe, the diameter of the universe, is the next covering, which is of air, then water, earth. Like this, there are so many coverings. Each covering, subsequent covering, is 10 times thicker than the previous one. This is the description of the universe mentioned in the Vedas. So we are very, very small, tiny living entity. We do not understand. So the structure is explained by the Supreme Creator. So we can imagine this universe itself is so big, and 10 times greater than this diameter is first layer. 10 times thicker than the first layer is second layer. 10 times then that layer is third layer. Like this, 7 layers are there of the gross and subtle elements. So living entity has to cross all these layers to become liberated. And if he goes outside, he can see it is of golden color. So Brahma Anda, so this egg-shaped universe is half filled with water. Because this universe is exhibiting various forms, it is because of presence of soul. That soul is Lord Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So when Lord Vishnu entered this universe, he saw entire universe was dark. So then he produced perspiration out of his body and he filled half the universe with water. And that water is called Garbhodak ocean. So, and then Lord Vishnu, he is lying, he is resting very peacefully on that ocean, on the bed of Lord Anant Shesh. So he's called Sheshashai. And Lord Vishnu is lying there very nicely, and Lord Vishnu is huge. We can imagine the size. He is lying in the universe. His body is very huge. And on his navel, there is lake, because navel is also huge. There is huge, expansive lake. And all that lake, which is there in the water of the navel of Lord Vishnu, there arises a lotus. And on top of the lotus, Lord Brahma appears. And in the stem of the lotus, there are 14 planetary systems. There are 14 levels. Just like a building has got 14 stories, each story can have many, many flats. In this way, there are 14 planetary systems. And on every level, there are many, many planets. It starts with Patal. Patal is bottommost. So Earth is in the middle. Above Earth, there are 6 planetary systems. Below Earth, there are 7 planetary systems. Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal. And above Earth, this is called Bhuloka. Here the predominant element is Earth. Then Bhuvarloka, then Swargloka. So all these planetary systems at the Brahma's night time, they got submerged in the Garbhodak ocean. They got settled in the bottom of the ocean. So why these planets did not settle so long? Why they were floating? So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Gam avishya cha bhutani dharayami aham ojasa. Just like a pilot enters a big, huge jumbo jet. It is like a city. There are huge planes. Or there are very, very big ships, cruisers. So why they are floating? Why the plane is there? Because there is a pilot. If pilot is out, plane cannot fly. Similarly, these planets are flying very, very systematically. Lord Krishna explains, because I have entered. How he has entered, ordinary people cannot figure out, cannot find. But Krishna tells, Gam avishya cha bhutani dharayami aham ojasa. By my potency, by my strength, I keep the planets in the orbit. Pushnami chaushadhi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. And then I become the moon and I supply the taste in the vegetables and give them nourishment, Lord Krishna explains. So Lord Krishna, by his potency, he is sustaining all the planets in the orbit. It is not happening by chance. So by Lord Krishna's will, at the end of Brahma's night, only top 3 planetary systems, 4 planetary systems, they are in place, and other planetary systems, they are destroyed. Destroyed in the sense the planets go down and settle at the bottom. And although Lord Brahma is very, very powerful, Lord Brahma has created, so we can just imagine, he has populated all the planets. And he has created all of us, our bodies, our future. He is extremely powerful man. But for him also, Garbhodak ocean was unfathomably deep. And Lord Brahma also was thinking, yes, how to take it out? Somebody is an expert swimmer. So can he cross the ocean by swimming capacity? No, ocean is huge for any best of the swimmer. You tell him you are swimmer, no, please pick it out, this thing from the bottom of universe. I lost my phone. It has settled. You please go. No. Some expert divers, they are somehow able to go to some shallow rivers. Otherwise, going at the bottom, extremely difficult task. It is so deep, the pressure is so huge. So it was too deep even for Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma also started wondering, yes, how to take out this planet Earth? It is there at the bottom. So while Lord Brahma was contemplating in such a manner, immediately he sees a unique living entity has come out of his nostril. It was very, very small. Its size was equivalent to the tip of thumb. This small living entity came out from the nostril of Brahma. But then immediately, in no time, it became like a huge elephant. And the form was that of a boar. So Lord Brahma, along with his sons, he started discussing, started arguing, who is this personality? Who are the sons of Brahma? The Kumaras were there, the sage Marichi was there. So they all started discussing. I'm sorry. So they all started discussing that who is this amazing living entity? And immediately he has become so huge. Is he Supreme Lord Vishnu? They were not able to understand. And then the Supreme Lord immediately, as it is told here, when the great sages and thinkers who are residents of Janaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka heard the tumultuous voice of Lord Boar, which was the all-auspicious sound of the all-merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious chants from the three Vedas. So thus it is told here, the highest intellectual and pious living entities live in those planets, and when they heard the extraordinary voice of the boar, they could understand that the specific sound was vibrated by the Lord and no one else. So because these living entities of higher planets, they don't have material desires. Those who practice strict austerity, they are promoted to those planets. The brahmacharis, they go to Maharloka, and vanaprasthas and sannyasis or Nashtik brahmacharis, they go to those higher planets. Brahmacharis go to Maharloka, and Nashtik brahmacharis, they go to Janaloka, and vanaprasthas, they go to Tapaloka, and sannyasis, they go to Satyaloka. So these planets are meant for renunciants who do not have any material desires. And everyone has material desires. That is why they are destroyed. Oh, Lord is such an evil. If I have material desire, he will kill us. He will destroy our planet also. He will put us in Garbhoda Ocean. This is not right. Why Lord is doing so? So this is not Lord's arrangement. This is our arrangement. Because if we have material desires, we will never be satisfied. Even if we go to Swargaloka, where the comforts of life are practically unlimited. Unlimited comforts of life, but still the living entity is not satisfied. That is why, in order to satisfy the desires which are unlimited, even till the point of death, they don't end, he has to take another body. So thus all these living entities, they die along with their planets because they desire material enjoyment. But other living entities of higher planets, they are just willing to continue their spiritual life. So thus they are not disturbed. They continue. And they keep on elevating gradually to higher planetary systems. But other living entities, they are destroyed. So if you want to enjoy material life, enjoy our senses, we will never be satisfied. And thus we will create our death. Lord does not wish that we die. We can live eternally. But we die because of our desires. Our desires are not satisfied. Somebody is doing lot of sex. So human body, you cannot do sex more than few times. You get tired. There is limitations of society, limitations of our body, limitations of so many things. So thus nature will give us, it will facilitate us. You become pigeon or you become monkey. You enjoy unlimited sex with many, many partners, if that is the enjoyment you want. So in this way, nature facilitates our desires. So it is our desires which are killing us. But if we desire spiritual perfection, then there will be no more birth and death. So these living entities were not disturbed. They did not die. And thus they were able to understand that he is Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord roared, his sound was reverberating across the three planetary systems. If we produce a sound, it may go for some distance, maybe some miles, if we have loudspeakers. But it is not possible to have a sound which reverberates across different planets, rather planetary systems. And this sound is completely spiritual. So one may think that how they were able to understand simply by the sound, that this is the sound of Supreme Lord. Yes. So those living entity whose senses are awakened, they will be able to understand. A person who is sick, for him, tasty food, non-tasty food, everything is non-tasty, everything is bitter. He cannot make out that this food is tasty and this is not. For him, there is only one taste, and that is Bitter. For a sick man, there is only one taste in food, that is bitter. Similarly, for a materialist, he has only one experience in life. What is that experience? Misery. Anywhere he goes, he gains only misery. So-called material success is also misery, because for any success in this world, you have to work very hard, and hard work is miserable. Yes. So any kind of material enjoyment means misery. You have to work very hard, that is misery. And then the success will put you into a lot of anxiety. It may not go away, that is also misery. And eventually it will go away, because everything is temporary in this world, then again misery. So thus, this material life is full of miseries. So just like a sick man knows only one taste, bitterness, similarly, there is only misery. But those who are advanced souls, they understand this material life is full of misery. I should not indulge in material affairs, satisfying my senses. I should understand satisfying the senses of Lord is full of nectar, is full of taste. They are able to understand. So those who are awakened to spiritual platform, they can see that this is spiritual sound and this is material sound. Otherwise, for living entities like us, every sound is material sound. We cannot distinguish between Hare Krishna mantra and an ordinary sound. But to the degree we advance in our spiritual life, we will be able to appreciate. For an ordinary person, the form of Lord in the temple or Michelangelo's sculptures, they are the same. Everything is a form, a stone idol. But a devotee can very clearly understand the difference. One form is completely spiritual, produces spiritual pleasure, ecstasy immediately. Another form is mundane. So in a similar way, because these living entities were advanced in their spiritual life, by hearing the sound, they were able to understand that this is the sound of the Supreme Lord. And thus they offered their prayers. And Supreme Lord also became very pleased by their prayers. He responded with another roar. And then, even though his senses are transcendental, but he took a form which appeared like boar, he started sniffing, where is the earth? And then he entered, he jumped within the ocean. And then he brought out the globe from the earth. And then he killed. Maitre Muni explains, in brief, he amalgamates both boar incarnations, which happened in the beginning of Manu and at the middle of Brahma's day, Chakshusha Manu. One is Shweta Varaha avatar, where Varahadeva, Lord Boar, appeared in white form. Another is Rakta Varaha. He appeared in reddish form. And when he appeared for the second time, he appeared for a different reason. What was the reason? The reason was killing the most powerful demon of the universe, Hiranyaksha, the brother of Hiranyakashipu. He was very, very powerful. He was challenging all the Devtas. So this demon had put earth again at the bottom of the universe. He was very, very powerful demon. So thus boar incarnation appeared twice. Once in the beginning, when because of Brahma's sleep, the earth settled at the bottom of the ocean. And then this was first Manu. Then sixth Manu was Chakshusha Manu. At the end of Chakshusha Manu's time, again there was a trouble. And this Hiranyaksha demon, he has hidden earth in the bottom of the ocean. And then when Lord Varaha was taking out the earth, he challenged the Lord. And then he spoke many unkind words and the Lord fought with him. And then Lord killed him. And in this way, so very nice description is there about this incarnation also. So one place it is told in the Vedas that Hiranyaksha was killed by slapping of Lord Varahadeva. Another place it is told he was killed by the tusks of Varahadeva. So two descriptions are given. So which is the correct description? Tusks. But another place it is told he was killed by the slapping, by the hand of Varahadeva. So how to understand Vedas are contradictory? Yes? No, same day. So like this, there could be many, many contradictory descriptions in the Vedas. So we should not get disturbed by such contradictions because our understanding is very, very limited. So the limitation is there in our understanding. So thus the Acharyas have explained very nicely. Lord Varahadeva first killed Hiranyaksha with his slap, and then he pierced him with his tusks also. So both statements are correct. First he was killed and then he was pierced by the tusks. So like this, there is limitation in our understanding. So there are various limitations in our understanding which object our understanding of the absolute truth. So the contradiction lies in our understanding. The Vedas are not contradictory. So we have to take shelter of bona fide spiritual masters to understand the conclusive understanding. So in this way, Lord Varahadev, he killed Hiranyaksha and he came out and he put Earth back in the orbit. So like this, many, many wonderful tasks the Supreme Lord performs. Why he performs all these tasks? So that he can capture our attention. That is the only reason why Lord, that is the main reason. Another reason is he also wants to fight. This fighting tendency is there in us. Why this tendency is there? Because the Supreme Lord also has this tendency. But in the Vaikuntha Loka, spiritual sky, all are his devotees, nobody will fight with him. So how he can fight? So he comes here in this world. Here all of us want to fight with Lord. So some of them, they fight directly. We are fighting indirectly by writing various exams, earning money, and dancing with women. So we are competing with the Lord. We want to dance with many, many women. We want to become most rich, most powerful. Here, nobody wants to become servant. So here we are all competing with Lord. We want to kill Lord, either directly or by writing various theories and philosophies. There is no God. We have come from energy. So indirectly, we are killing God. There is no God. There is formlessness. So here, many living entities are there who want to fight with Lord, who want to compete with the Lord, and thus the Lord appears, and that is his side business. That he has got fighting tendency, he kills the demons also. But the main reason is he wants to attract us. When we hear such extraordinary activities, Lord has taken such a huge form. People, Westerners do not know all these things. They get attracted by Marvel and DC comics. They have imagined some characters. There also there is some hero who has become very powerful. He becomes very huge in size. There is somebody who's jumping from here to there, like like bat, like spider. So we have all the incarnations. Lord also assumes spider incarnation. I do not know, probably, but fish incarnation is there. Hans avatar is there. He incarnates in the form of snake also. So all these things are there. Just like their heroes assume various forms, so our Supreme Lord also assumes various forms. So these things are very, very attractive. They read Harry Potter, he's flying in the air. So we get attracted. So Lord also flies in the air. He can conjure tricks. Lord also, he is a trickster. He's the greatest trickster. He can conjure anything from anywhere. So like this, Lord performs wonderful activities. That is why he's called Urukrama, extraordinary activities. If anyone does extraordinary activities, that captures our attention. So if our attention is captured by the Lord, then we become liberated, we become purified. So this is the purpose of Lord's activities. So that is why we should try to always meditate on all these forms. That is why all these wonderful prayers are composed. Keshav Dhrita Varaha Rupa Jai Jagdish Hare. So we should always keep on chanting these prayers, keep on hearing these sounds. These sounds are completely pure spiritual. So by hearing this, we will also be able to understand our real identity, which is completely spiritual. We will develop real sense perception. We will develop attraction towards Lord, and we will solve this repeated birth and death. So unlimited births we have taken. We were present when Swayambhuva Manu was there, Chakshusha Manu was there. So many Brahmas have gone, so many Manus have gone. But we are taking many, many births. We are not satisfied. Like this, unlimited times we keep on dying, but there is no satisfaction. The satisfaction is there in hearing, chanting, thinking about the Supreme Lord, serving the Supreme Lord. So thus, these special days give us an opportunity to remember Lord, to engage in his service. So let us pray to Lord Varahadev that he appears in our heart. We are able to, unless Lord sanctions, we will not be able to think of him. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. The Lord is there in the heart. By him comes remembrance. By him comes knowledge, and by him comes forgetfulness. So perfection of life is constant meditation on the Supreme Lord. So this is the sum and substance of all the instructions of the Vedas. There are so many rules and regulations explained in the Vedas. Somebody tells, Prabhu, please explain me briefly. There is no time. I cannot read all the Vedas. I cannot spend so many years. I have little time. So for those who have little time, there is one verse which explains the purpose of all the verses, all the shlokas which are written in the Vedas. Only one shloka. What is that shloka? So it is told, Smartavyam satatam Vishnu, Vismartavyo na jatuchit. Sarve vidhi nishedasyur etayor eva kinkara. All the vidhi and nished, all the do's and don'ts, they are for this end. All the do's and don'ts. What I am doing in life, what I am not doing, what I should do, what I should not do. All the do's and don'ts, rules and regulations are ultimately meant so that a person can follow this principle. What is the principle? Smartavyam satatam Vishnu. Always, satatam means constantly. Smartavyam, think of Vishnu. Vismartavyo na jatuchit. And never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. All the rules and regulations, sarve vidhi nishedasyur, etayore vikinkaraha. So thus very clearly it is told in the Padma Purana that all the rules and regulations are subservient to this principle, that always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So the greatest pleasure of life is constant meditation upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, either in his form as Krishna or as other incarnations. And what is the greatest calamity of life? Bhagavatam mentions there are so many calamities. Which calamity has happened in the world recently? There was fire incident, huge fire. Rich celebrities had many wonderful homes built on the Hollywood Hills. Los Angeles got burnt. So like this, it was a calamity. Like this, many calamities have happened in the world. There was Chernobyl. There was Bhopal gas tragedy. Huh? Kumbh. Oh, COVID, yes. Yes, Kumbh also, there have been tragedies. We see in the movies, small kids, they went and they got separated in Kumbh Mela. Then they meet after 20 years. So people have always been going to Kumbh. And if you lose your family, then you are lost. There is no WhatsApp, nothing. You cannot do anything in those ages. After many years, if you are lucky, you will find your family. Else you are lost. So many tragedies can happen, so many calamities. But what is the biggest tragedy that can happen to a person? So it is told in Bhagavatam, forgetting the lotus feet of Lord for a single moment. That is the biggest loss that a person can have in life. Forgetting the lotus feet for single moment, it is told in Bhagavatam. So those who have this treasure of meditating constantly on the lotus feet, they know how important, how valuable it is to have such a constant association with the Supreme Lord. How nectarian, how unlimitedly pleasurable it is. So that is why the gopis, the greatest devotees of the Lord, they were cursing Brahma, the creator. The creator of these bodies, he is foolish, they tell. He does not know how to manufacture the bodies nicely. Why he has created this phenomena of blinking of eyes? Because of this blinking of eyes, we are not able to see constantly the form of Krishna. And for a fraction, for a nimisha, Lord Krishna becomes invisible to our eyes because of this blinking. Rather, he should have given us thousands of eyes. Why he has given only 2 eyes? With these 2 eyes, we cannot sufficiently behold the beautiful form of Krishna. So he should have given us thousands of eyes. So if at all we find this creator, we will teach him a nice lesson. Why he has given only 2 eyes, they are telling. And that too, they are blinking. He does not know how to create eyes nicely. So thus, this is the pleasure which the devotees relish. Just like a person who is fit, he will experience great taste in food. But a sick man, oh, take away the food. He will puke. For him, it is intolerable to eat the tastiest of the foods. Similarly, for us, because we are diseased, we cannot relish meditation on the Lord. We cannot relish hearing the names of the Lord. Otherwise, this is the subject matter of greatest relish and pleasure. So we have to cultivate this pleasure. This pleasure is so great that people are living without clothes in the mountains for a long time, for hundreds of years. There would be something. So this should be common sense. As I heard one agnostic teacher, he was speaking very nicely. Somebody asked him, what is this Brahma Gyan? He told, I also do not know. People guess about it. We can only guess. But definitely there must be something. That is why people have been aspiring for it and they leave everything to acquire it. Why somebody would live in forest? It's very pleasant to live in forest, to live in jungle. There are so many comforts here you can enjoy. Why some people are taking so much trouble? Why great kings have been leaving their kingdoms? There could be some extraordinary pleasure which is not relishable even in the kingdom. So this is common sense. Why people are drinking? Why so many people drink? Because there is pleasure. Why so many people watch sports, play sports? Because there is pleasure. Similarly, it is common sense. Why so many people they renounce all the pleasures of life? There must be some extraordinary pleasure. So this pleasure we have to cultivate. The real pleasure, that is misery in the beginning, but nectar in the end. So we have to practice, follow the rules and regulations very nicely, especially serving the pure devotee spiritual master. So this description was explained when Vidur, he asked Maitreya Muni to describe the activities of Manu, who is a pure devotee of Krishna. So thus he was not just interested in hearing about Krishna, but he was also interested in hearing about pure devotee of Krishna. Pure devotee of Krishna and Krishna both are spiritual. Just like any sound, if it comes from the real world, we will wake up. It does not matter which language who has spoken. So pure devotees are also on the liberated platform, spiritual platform. So if we hear the activities of the pure devotees like Swayambhuva Manu, like Narad Muni, like the Kumaras, like Lord Shiva or other devotees, or that of Supreme Lord, we will become liberated. So thus either of the Supreme Lord or of his devotees. And specifically it is told, association of devotees or worship of the devotee is much more potent than the worship of Supreme Lord. Because the pure devotees are very, very merciful. So worship of the pure devotee is more potent because they are merciful. One advances very quickly by taking shelter of his pure devotee. That is the verdict of Krishna. Mad bhakteshu puja bhyadika. Greater than my worship is worship of my pure devotee. That is why the first objective is Adav Guru Ashrayam, take shelter of a Guru who is a pure devotee of Krishna. This is the first aim of life. So if we are able to find a pure devotee, then we should worship him, surrender unto him. Then we will make very, very quick advancement in our life. So by worshipping a pure devotee, one is able to advance. Simply by serving, the relish, the taste is awakened. Shushusho Shraddhadhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchi Syat. The taste in service of Krishna, hearing about Krishna, becomes awakened by serving the pure devotee of Krishna. So thus it is very, very simple. We have to find a pure devotee, serve him, then hearing about Supreme Lord, service of Supreme Lord, we will find very, very pleasurable, very, very nectarian. And then by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the devotees, one day we might also be able to understand how it is the greatest pleasure to meditate on the Supreme Lord. It is the greatest asset. And how it is the greatest loss to forget the lotus feet of Krishna for a single moment. So our life should be molded in such a way that smartavyam satatam Vishnu, we are always able to think of the Supreme Lord. Never mind there are troubles in our life. That is why Kunti Maharani is telling, please give me more troubles, my Lord, because we were able to think of you when we were in trouble. We think of Lord more intensely. So she is praying for troubles. Because apunar bhava darshanam, if we think of you, there are no more, if we see you, there is no more seeing of this miserable material world. There is no more coming back. So this should be the principle, that how I can mold my life in such a way that I am always able to think of the Supreme Lord and never forget him. And this can be around this situation we can achieve by serving a pure devotee very nicely, by hearing from a pure devotee. So this was the summary of the wonderful pastimes of Lord Varahadeva. With this we will end. Any questions? When Krishna comes, does he come only on this Bhuloka or this planetary system or elsewhere also? He comes everywhere. Other planetary systems also. Just like Varahadeva appeared in Satyaloka, Brahma's planet. Similarly, in the form of Vamandev, he appeared in Svargaloka, the planet of the demigods. So, similarly, as Mahavishnu, Purusha Avatar, he has appeared within the universe. Similarly, as Lord Anant Shesh, he has appeared at the bottom of the universe. So, like this, Krishna appears in various forms in various planets. Any other question? Online, do we have?
So, you know that in the higher planetary systems, there are people who practice sacrifice. So, these people have been practicing sacrifice for so many years. So, how are they liberated?
How are they?
How are they liberated? They should be liberated, right?
Question is, these people on the higher planetary systems, they have been practicing sacrifice for such a long time. Why they are not liberated, or how they will be liberated? So that is why it is told liberation is not an easy thing. Liberation takes endeavors of many lifetimes. Many lifetimes, not one long life. So on these planets, they are having just one very long life, which is equal to trillions of years. So trillions of years are not enough to get liberated. So liberation business means many lifetimes. It is not an easy thing. Bahunam janmanam ante, and many lifetimes for a person in knowledge. Foolish person, forget him. So bahunam janmanam ante gyanvan mam prapadyante. So that is why it is not easy, but we are very fortunate. When one takes shelter of a pure devotee of Krishna, then this process becomes very easy. Then in one lifetime one can get liberation. Otherwise, there's a normal procedure. You go to one planet, then go to higher planet, then perform long austerities, then higher planet, then again long spell of austerities, sacrifice, meditation, again next planet. Even on this planet, this process was not given, which we have now. The process was you sit on Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and the great sages meditated for 10,000, 50,000, 60,000 years also in this planet. So it's not easy thing. We are fortunate if we simply surrender to a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, follow his instructions. Prabhupada explains you need not wait even for death. Even within this body, we experience liberation. We just should be very serious about it. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. When Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, typically we see there is some kind of tatparya.
Pardon?
When the Supreme Lord appears, say for example, Krishna has appeared, here's certain example how the spiritual world is. When he comes as Rama, there is some kind of tatparya. Like even if Lord appears as a human, he has to suffer for his wife in order to recover. So what is the tatparya for Varahadeva? Is there anything like that? Is there mentioned anywhere in the scripture?
Lord Varahadeva, what message he wants to give? So not necessarily that every time he has to come and instruct or do this thing. So Lord Varahadeva comes and he exhibits his extraordinary activities, powerful activities. By this we get attracted. Oh, my Lord is so powerful. And we can meditate on him. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. How to have full faith in the Lord? Even after chanting and reading Prabhupada books, we have only, sometimes I have only little faith in Lord.
This entire devotional service is process of increasing faith. Because Supreme Lord we cannot perceive. So it is naturally a subject matter of doubt and apprehension. As a blind man will always be doubtful. Who is coming in front of me? Or like in dark, we are always doubtful. Oh, thief is sitting here, some animal is here, snake is here. So we are always doubtful. So in darkness, or for a blind man who is always in darkness, there is always doubt. So as long as we are not awakened to absolute reality, truth, we will be doubtful. But we have to understand using common sense, creation needs a creator. So who has created this wonderful thing, the wonderful machines, who has given beauty, who has given strength? So there should be some person I'm not able to see. So who is this Supreme Lord? How do we understand? How do we put faith? This process is there. First, engage in service. It is a very simple process. If you have to know about any person, any great person, you have to have relationship with that person. You cannot know about any person without, he may not explain it to you. He may not reveal his identity. Only the relatives will know his identity who know him closely. Just like the kings also. They will go in disguise to see what is happening in the kingdom. And people could not figure out that he is the king in disguise of a common man. Similarly, the Supreme Lord may not be known by others who are not close to him. So we have to have a relationship with him. It is common sense. So that is why it is told, Sevan Mukhe Jivvada, one has to engage in service of the Supreme Lord. And when Supreme Lord is pleased, he reveals himself. And his service is harmless. His service begins with chanting, worshipping him, offering him prasadam. And all those people who have done this thing, we see how they have become liberated in their life, how they are so joyful, irrespective of all the external troubles. So we can also follow this path in good faith. Another point of faith is the authorities, the experts in this science, the liberated personalities, they have given their verdict that Krishna is Supreme Lord. So thus, even though we may not have full faith initially, that is natural. We may be doubtful, that is the initial stage. If we keep on serving the Supreme Lord, we will come to a stage called anartha nivritti. We will get freedom from unwanted habits. So when we are freed from all the unwanted habits, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, no sense gratification without satisfying the Lord, then we are able to have this strong faith, which is called nishtha. That is a platform of liberation. There we are able to understand the Supreme Lord. So we have to be patient. With patience, we have to follow the simple, common sense and harmless practice of rendering service to the Supreme Lord. And the faith will gradually increase. But please have association of devotees. You have little faith, that is why you are hearing this called Shraddha. Second stage is Sadhu Sangha. Next, we have to associate, live with devotees. And then higher than Sadhu Sangha is Bhajan Kriya. So in association of devotees, we have to execute devotional service. Then anartha nivritti syat. It will be possible to get freedom from unwanted habits. And then only we will be able to understand with great conviction Supreme Lord.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sometimes due to bad health, we are not able to chant. So can we chant in mind with Prabhupada audio, or what is the best solution?
Yes, suppose we are so sick that I cannot even use my tongue, then in mind we can chant. What can be done? But as far as possible, even though we are sick, we should push ourselves to chant. Even though devotees were there in the hospital beds, they were not able to get up. Still they were having beads and they were chanting, lying on the bed. They were not able to get up. Still they were chanting. So as far as possible, but if it is motion of tongue is also not possible, then in mind we chant.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, what are Brahma's activities? As Brahma is having such a huge lifespan, does he preach the message of Lord continuously?
Yes. So Brahma's main purpose of creation is to engage the living entities in Supreme Lord service, and at the same time fulfill their desires, what they have in this material world. So in this way, ultimate objective is giving them pure devotional service. Keeping the service in mind, he engages in creation under the direction of Supreme Lord.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, while preaching how to convince some people that our forefathers are Manu and not monkeys, they say that this theory, that theory, like Darwin theory.
Yes, you have to understand. Now we understand how the AI systems work. The data which you feed, basis that it will give you the result. It will give output. Similar is our intelligence. The data that we have fed for such a long time, it will give the same output. We will ask our intelligence the question, we have come from apes or from Manu? What it will tell? Ape. So much we have heard in our education system. Yes. And if you ask a Muslim from where he has come, what he will tell? Allah, Allah, Allah. He has heard about Allah. Yes, you ask a Christian from where you have come, from our Father who lives in heaven. We have come from him. So why? Because they have heard so much about Christ. They understand Christ is our Father. So we should not depend on our convictions. Just like in Pakistan, they had the conviction that they had 3 wars with India and they were victorious in all the wars. Why? Because they have been educated like this. That is a propaganda over there. So common man, he has got no freedom. He is bound to get affected by the association he is having. So we are limited. We have not seen the wars. We are not like Vedavyas Trikaldarshi. I can see past, present, and future. I have to rely upon the people around me. And if people around me are telling, okay, yes, we won all the wars, I have to believe we won the wars. And in Russia, they were competing with America in the space race. And even though America claimed they have gone to moon, all the Americans, they believed America has gone to moon. How? They showed them on television. See, rocket is going like this. So they believed. Russians, they were educated. America has not gone to moon. They are fooling people. So majority of the Russians, of course, now there is internet propaganda everywhere. Before internet was there, majority of Russians, they believed that America has not gone to moon. Sorry? It was a shooting, yes. It was a simulation. They tell us, some of the people who are involved in the mission, they displayed simulation that whether rocket is actually going or not. How do you know? Through a sensor only, you will get to know. Through some sensor, through some satellites. So simulated signals can be sent. So they told simulations were sent. Like this, various theories are there. So anyway, so it depends upon the propaganda that we have had. So the Russians had a propaganda that US has not gone. Americans had propaganda, US has gone. Now whose conviction is right? So that is why we should not depend upon convictions of a conditioned living entity. We should depend upon convictions of liberated living entity. A sick man will have conviction. Oh, this food is bad and this cook is bad. Anything he cooks is bitter. He is convinced, thoroughly convinced, yes, that this food is bitter. His conviction is of any value? Any value? A colorblind person is convinced that bananas are red in color. He is convinced banana is red. No, sir, you are colorblind. You are mistaking yellow for red. So whose conviction is right? Similarly, a person in dream is thoroughly convinced. Yes, this is life. Yes, I've become so rich now. I'm successful. I'm enjoying with a beautiful girl. But these are all false convictions. Yes, getting my point? So that is why Krishna tells the convictions are of 3 modes: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Tamasic conviction means ostrich. It is chased by a lion, predator. It digs its head into sand. And he becomes very happy. Oh, tiger is gone. So that is the ostrich's conviction. It is convinced that tiger is gone. Simply because its head is there in the sand. It cannot see. So this is called ostrich's conviction. As per him, tiger is gone. This is the thing. Similarly, people have different convictions about life. So our convictions are of no value. Only the least intelligent people depend upon their convictions, who are fool number 1. It is told in the Vedas. Because we are convinced about our perceptions and propaganda we have had through our senses so far. What is the value of such propaganda and such inputs? Yes, in dream we are convinced, but what is the use of such conviction? Every person before marriage is convinced, I will be super happy by this. And everyone without fail sees the reverse effect. Without fail. Without fail. So your conviction did not help you, sir. Yes, you are convinced. Ask any person who has done love marriage, who have married the love of their life, they will be completely dissatisfied after marriage, completely dissatisfied. Because they don't understand. We are spirit souls. Material enjoyment can never satisfy. Problem is not with the partner. Problem is in you. Because you are sick, you will be satisfied with everything, in every place, in every circumstances. And those who are liberated, they'll be satisfied in every place, in every circumstances, with every person. A sick man finds everything bitter. Similarly, we find everywhere dissatisfaction because we are spirit souls. We do not know how to satisfy myself. So that is why there is no value of conviction. What is the value of our conviction? That is why 1 or 2 generations ago you asked them, Pandavas, who they were forefathers. Yes, rishis. We have come from Gautam, from Bharadwaj. This is our Gotra. They are thoroughly convinced. Why? Because they were exposed to such propaganda. Today's generation, from apes, from this thing. Why? Before Darwin, nobody spoke like this. Darwin spoke something. What is the use of Darwin? So many scientific theories have come and gone. After our death, maybe next generation, they will tell, I'm sorry you came from Manu. Oh, my father died without worshipping Manu or Krishna. Now you are telling. So scientific theories keep on changing. So many scientific theories were there. Scientists were convinced pituitary gland is vestigial, waste organ. It has no use in the body. What is the use of such conviction? Now they tell it is master gland of the body. The function of other glands depend on pituitary gland. So what is the use of this conviction which you change? Yes. So that is why when people are not able to understand anything, we have to make them understand, sir, do not depend upon your brain, propaganda or mind. So that is why this question is so important. In Vedic culture, people would dedicate to understand what is truth beyond my perception. What I am perceiving, the propaganda I have been exposed to is reality or not. 1/3 of the world population believes in Christ. Another 1/3 or 1/4 believes in Allah. Why? Because of this propaganda, billions of people have this faith. So please understand, our conviction depends upon, this is also artificial intelligence simulation of our intelligence. Whatever data has been fed to us, we are made to believe in this. Prabhupada tells a very nice story in this connection. So Prabhupada tells there was a group of friends. So they decided to play prank upon one of them. What was the prank? They decided, today when this person gets up, as soon as you see him, immediately you have to shout, ghost, 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 ghost. And you have to run away. So he got up and the first friend started shouting, ghost, 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 ghost. He ran away. You know why he's shouting like this? He went to second friend. He told, ghost, 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 ghost. He also ran away. He went to third friend. He thought probably I'm actually dead. Everyone is telling, I think I'm dead now. Everyone is telling ghost. So this is called propaganda. If 4 or 5 people, they shout ghost, ghost looking at us, we will think I'm dead now. Everyone is telling I'm ghost. So there is no value of our conviction. Because I am conditioned by my senses. The senses are windows to the world. What is absolute reality? We shall never know unless we are able to have absolute perception. We are able to see in darkness also. We are able to see in light also. We are able to see what is there in front. We are able to see what is in back. We are able to see within the atom. We are able to see outside the universe. When we have such a vision, then we can understand what is absolute truth. Otherwise, we'll be mistaken. So that is why how to understand this absolute perception. To understand this, this is called education. Education means inquiry about absolute truth. But unfortunately, see, people depend upon their conviction, their senses. And they are firmly believing this is true. This is unfortunate. That is why this is called illusion. Whole world is in foolishness, in darkness. They think what I perceive is true. So that is why we make them understand what is the value of our conviction. What is the value of any theory? Theory means, first of all, understand what is science. So a theory means something which is not proven. It is a contemplation. It has come from Greek word theoria, means to contemplate. Somebody contemplated and his thoughts he has penned down in the form. There is no proof of it. There is no observation. Can you observe this ape is growing into a human being? No, there is no observation. There is no proof. There is only inference. Your inferential logic may be wrong. Just like inferential logic gave us the various models, atomic structures. They were wrong. So similarly, that is your inference now. There is no proof of this theory. As pituitary gland was called waste, from waste it has become most important. Similarly, this theory also may change tomorrow. What is the value of any theory? And what is it giving you? Whereas if you follow the conviction of the liberated personalities, there is such bliss in your life that you are able to remain satisfied in every circumstances. It means they are wise people. By following Darwin, what you will do? Sense gratification, and thus increase your distress of life. So thus we have to understand by following which conviction I am getting freedom from the laws of nature. Those people know knowledge. They know actual knowledge. So thus by following these instructions, I become freed. And by following the other path, I become conditioned. I want woman also. I want this man also. I want this property also. I want this name, fame also. I want unlimited things to make me happy. I am getting more and more conditioned and distressed in my life. Whereas if I follow the conviction of pure devotees, liberated souls, saints, I become unconditionally happy. So thus very clearly it shows they are on the path of knowledge. So like this, please try to understand from the end result. If end result, Prabhupada told, reporter asked Prabhupada, what is the proof of your knowledge? Prabhupada told, proof is that we are happy. If by taking medicine of a doctor we become cured, that means doctor is knowledgeable. As simple as that. So by this, we can try to explain people. So we'll finish here. Granthara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Varaha Dvadashi Mahotsav ki, Shri Varahadeva ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.